Casper is starting to wake up. And even though I believe that this is just barely even the beginning, I still think it's a good sign nonetheless. And also on top of that, $2 is still my price target for Casper during this bull run, even though that's not financial advice nor a guarantee. Now, I think this right here showcases just how quickly sentiment can change, because a couple weeks ago, everyone thought that Casper was complete caca, it's trash, it's doo-doo, but now they're thinking, oh wow, Casper is actually not that bad. Now, here's the thing. I think this, if anything, also showcases that during a fully fledged bull run, when FOMO is at an all-time high, buying pressure, buying volume, I think this showcases that when it comes to Casper, once it goes to the price of 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, right? It's going to be very easy for it to move past beyond that, right? To 10 cents, 20 cents, let's say, and beyond, because at that point, people are like, whoa, this person believes in it. It's just going to start this, snowball effect. But personally, for me, I'm not going to FOMO into Casper when the price is like at 40 cents, 20 cents. I'm not going to do that. I'm FOMOing in right now. This is the time I want to stay busy because, if I want to wait for Casper to go to the price of 20 cents to gain quote-unquote confirmation that it will do well, what is that all about, man? I don't need confirmation like that. I believe in it already because I believe in enterprise-optimized layer 1 blockchains, much like Casper, that are focused on AI as well, by the way. So it's not like I need, a certain price target for me to confirm my belief, because people like to comment. They like to say, oh, dude, don't you just wait till the price of Casper goes to the price of like 20 cents? So then you're going to know it's going to go to the price of $1? No, man. I mean, as of right now, going to the price of 20 cents, could you imagine all the potential gains that I could potentially lose if I wait until 20 cents? If you know what I mean? I don't want to do that, man. If anything, as of right now, I'm dollar cost averaging, accumulating even more. And my belief is the best it's ever been before when it comes to Casper, because I believe in the fundamentals of Casper. Not many, of its competitors have flexible deployment options. Casper does. It can easily transition between a public, a private, and a hybrid network. That's how amazing it is. And oftentimes, people like these, retail optimized layer 1 blockchains, and there's nothing wrong with them. Many of them are doing well, and I think that some of them are still going to do amazing in the future. However, in my opinion, a narrative of enterprise adoption is often ignored, but I don't understand this, because if you actually take a look at it in a head-to-head battle, what has more capabilities to promote growth? Retail market or enterprise market? Hands down, it's enterprise market. They have so many resources, they have the volume, they have the capital. I think especially in the long term, it's going to really defeat these retail optimized projects, which is why I'm such a big fan when it comes to Casper. Very unknown, right, when it comes to Casper relatively, because oftentimes when people think about good layer 1 blockchains, they think about, a Ethereum, right, which I don't agree with, by the way. They think about like a Solana, like an Avalanche, but they don't really think about Casper. They just think, oh, it's another caca layer 1 blockchain. But I disagree with that, because if you take a look at what are the traits that people like about Avalanche and Solana, they like its scalability, they like, the gas fees, and also on top of that, they like how it's lightning fast. Well, isn't Casper exactly that? So I don't know why people like to say that Casper is trash. The amazing layer 1 blockchain qualities that people often look for, they're present in Casper. But the amazing thing about Casper is that it's way lower than an Avalanche or a Solana. So it's like quite essentially me acquiring Solana and Avalanche back then before it popped off. Also on top of that, Ethereum. Gas fees are crazy, right? I don't like that. You take a look at scalability problems. That's a complete issue, arguably speaking. Casper doesn't have that. So when it comes to Casper, it's such a hidden gem. I think sometimes people don't understand this. Casper, it reminds me of Tom Brady with a 199th overall pick, selected in the later rounds in the NFL draft. Everyone thought he was caca, he was trash, all this type of stuff. But guess what? You take a look at how he ended up becoming, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. That's kind of like Casper, often overlooked. People don't really believe in it, but hey, man, I think it's like Tom Brady. As of right now, it's like Tom Brady just getting drafted. But I think years down the line, once Casper really showcases what it's capable of, and especially during this bull run, it's going to showcase those Super Bowl type of moments. Because, if you think about it, what was so bad about Tom Brady? I get it. He had a very bad NFL combine. The video was atrocious. You take a look at throwing mechanics. Amazing. So he has the good qualities that are present in amazing quarterbacks. But back then, people just had this stigma because they're like, man, caca quarterback. Casper, it kind of reminds me of that. As of right now, people think it's caca, but I think in the future, it's going to just have better days ahead, because fundamentally, I think something like this won't do bad, because Why would it? In the past, we've seen many of its competitors that have far less fundamentals do so great. So I don't think this is crazy at all. To see Casper, let's say at the price of $2, I mean, you got to take this into consideration. At that point, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $25 billion. This is like peanuts, man. I mean, we've seen something like Ethereum reach over 550 billion. I mean, come on. We've seen, something like BNB as of right now even reach over 80 billion. BNB at one point even reached over 100 billion. So this isn't too crazy, right? We've also seen, Solana, the heights it reached. We see, AVAX, right? Avalanche. So when you think about that, this really isn't too crazy in the grand scheme of things. And the amazing thing about Casper is this. If we tone things down, let's say it goes to the price of $1, which I think is an absolute worst case scenario, market cap is around $12.5 billion. That's still over a 70x from here. Can you imagine that? Even Casper just going to the price of $1 is over a 70x from here. So hypothetically, let's say I put a grand, right? $1,000 into Casper. Let's say you were to go to the price of $1, I would have managed to turn my 1,000 into over 70,000, hypothetically. Isn't that insane? Now, that's not financial advice. No one has to follow what I'm doing, but I just kind of find that insane. Really. Man, this is like Cardano back then. You think about how Cardano, at one point, its native token called ADA, was hovering around a couple cents. Everyone thought it was trash. It was caca. Then what happened? One day it proved a lot of the haters wrong. Just went beyond many people's expectations. And then everyone's like, oh, wow, okay. Now Cardano's the real deal. I don't want to wait for that. The way I take a look at it is that if I missed out on the early run for Cardano, I don't want to miss out on the early run for Casper. The amazing thing about it is that it's never really had a true bull run yet. That's the amazing thing about it. It's quite essentially a sleeping giant. And that's why I believe in it so much. Because, quite essentially, once that FOMO, once that, buying pressure really kicks in, I think the sky's the limit. And why would it not? You take a look at how there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. That's more than ever before in history. You take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the number of institutional investors. It's just through the roof. I mean, this bull run could be so legendary. Bitcoin going to the price of 150,000, that wouldn't surprise me. And if it were to do that, could you imagine what happens to Casper? Oh, man. That's party time right there, going to Sizzler, going to Applebee's. If you know, right? Going to Chili's. That's how amazing it could be. But it's just a waiting game at this point. And understand that because I've been waiting ever since 2021. So my dedication when it comes to Casper is just fantastic. That's the way I view it. I feel like this is like a 10-mile marathon and I'm kind of nearing the end. I'm not going to quit right now, man. I'm not going to do that. That's just not my style. I want to see this thing out because around a year from right now, I think things could look so different because even historically speaking, we know that altcoins peak as a worst case scenario around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. The last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April. So that's technically, 18 months, October of next year. So around a year from right now. And I really can't wait. All I got to do is just stay patient. It's just a waiting game. I'm not going to day trade. I'm not going to use leverage. I'm not going to swing trade. Not going to do that. I'm just going to wait because granted it could happen sooner, which would be amazing. But let's say I have to wait around a year. Fine. I'll just accumulate more because I believe in Casper. I think that it's so underrated and I just can't wait because when Casper really wakes up, man, it's really a sleeping giant. No pun intended, of course, because we all know that Casper, the mattress brand. But yeah, besides that point, I'm very bullish on Casper. What we're seeing right now, I think is a small taste, but I think better days are ahead because $2 during this bull run, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm a peace. Bye.